Firstly, we start with the summary of case study. The topic is buying green consumer behavior. Green consumer products represent a fast-growing segment of the consumer market. Organic food alone has been double-digit growth every year since 1990. Consumers of these products tend to be seen in a more positive light and viewed as kinder and more eco-friendly users. Based on the series of experiments comparing consumption of green and conventional products, people who buy green products are less likely to share money with strangers and cheat on tasks. Purchasing green products may cause the licensed indulgence in self-interest and unethical behavior. The study was conducted by psychologists Nina Maza and Chen Bozong. The researchers were expecting that green products would provide a halo effect, whereby the positive impression associated with the green consumption would lead to the positive outcome in other areas. They also claim that action which produce a sense of self-content and moral glow can sometimes backfire. In a study, it showed that shoppers who bring reusable grocery bags are more likely to buy more indulgent products. Moral licensing effects occur when the decision to bring reusable bags was at the shopper's discretion.
The ethics story involved in the moral licensing effect is firstly a cognitive bias. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, cognitive bias refers to an individual's understanding of something based on their belief and experience, which may or may not be reasonable or correct. Therefore, cognitive bias in the moralizing effect is about individuals behaving immorally while maintaining their self-image as a moral persons. Second is cognitive dissonance or cognitive dissonance theory or balance theory, where this theory highlights individuals trying to justify or rationalize a bad action that you do to a good reasoning. For example, if you are an animal lover, so you choose to become a vegetarian but you still hate and kill insects, you justify your action of killing spider by saying they are a dangerous animal to make you feel less guilty. Lastly is self-perception theory, where an individual perceives himself as a highly moral or less moral person. It is also known as a moral self-image. Usually, an individual perceived degree of being highly moral tends to be a victim of moral licensing. Next is moral license guideline. Moral license guideline happens when an individual must first do many good deeds that he then will think he can get an exception to do the bad thing. Or it can also happen based on your future plans, justifying the current behavior. Like if you plan to start exercising next month, you believe you can binge eat till then because you can burn all the calories to it. Best practice for moralizing is usually when people has contribute a lot of efforts to do something like ethical action or good deeds that make them feel they deserve to do something bad or unethical. Like if you do well in examination, you think you deserve to treat yourself to buy something you like, or you have saved a lot of money this year, you think you deserve to treat yourself something luxury to rewarding yourself.
Beyond green consumption, the type of products that might bring out the similar kind of moral licensing effect is bad habit. As we know, moral licensing is a tendency to justify out current poor action using previous good behavior, right? So I will pick the best example that everyone can relate to, I believe, which is eat healthy. Have you ever worked out on a diet, and after completing that action, or we can see positive action, you feel like you have the right to or deserve to do something bad, such as you believe you can eat nasi lemak on the way back home, or you went to mama under your gymnasium after you worked out. So your good behavior prompts you to do something less than positive because you believe that you deserve it, right? So moreover, future plans also justify the current behavior of moral licensing. When you make a plan to stop a bad habit, you believe you can overindulge in bad behavior until you begin. For example, if you plan to start eating healthy next month, you believe you can eat whatever you want until then. So you find yourself worthy of a treat because you assume you will burn all the calories soon, right? The answer is yes. The moral licensing is very common among green users. Demographic and psychographic factors does affect the moral licensing effects. For example, something considered morally good in Europe might be morally bad in Southeast Asian country. And psychographically speaking, people hold different value, right? So the moral licensing effect might hit different to other people. This moral licensing, I find out there are lots of companies use it as marketing. They imply green products and then offer guilty luxury products, and that's when the consumers are affected. For instance, the Starbucks company conduct a green initiative such as reusable cup, metal straw, but their drinks are far from healthy, right? And with high calories. So that resulting the consumers suffering from diabetes or obesity by saving the environment. Same goes to the McDonald's company. They ban plastic straw, but they are offering junk food. So this type of company, they offer these guilty products in exchange of feeling they've done something nice to the environment, but actually they are affecting the consumers.
The reason why the study conducted by Mazes and Zong are found to be opposite to their assumption is because we believe it due to these two models, which the first one is moral credit model. How does moral credit model related to moralizing effects? The answer is in the moral credit model, good and bad behavior are like credits and debits on a bank account, in which if you do something good, then you have moral credit or assumption to spend on being bad. In other words, the past good deed allow individuals to spend committing bad deeds without any fear of penalties.
Case study, this statement showing that by supporting a social movement on saving the earth, like buying green products, can make us feel we are permitted to allow ourselves to do the unethical behavior like stealing and cheating. And consumers in California grocery store are also victims of moralizing immoral credit model, where they think by listening to the employee request to use reusable bag and buy environmentally friendly products make them think they have done plenty of good deeds to save the earth, thus make them believe they have the exception to spend on buying indulgent products.
The second model is a moral credential model. Basically, this moral credential model is about previous behavior that shape your sense of who you are. It means when there is a current ambiguous behavior based on the positive reputation created by past good deed, it will establish credentials that function like desirable character witness for individuals that make the unethical behavior to be less immoral. For instance, an individual always recycling every week will feel okay if they are not do that good act this week because it seems less selfish to not do so.
This case study, this statement shows how consumers who spend money to buy green products to support the environmental social movement to save the earth are likely to feel they don't have to give charity to other people as they believe what they have contributed now is already enough and show a good moral act.
Moral licensing effect is kind of like moral balancing, which people will be justifying that their bad deed is okay just because they already did the good deeds. In some cases, they will cheat or buy food that is not deemed as organic while they are using a reusable bag. Or they do buy organic food but they will return next, who knows. In order to minimize this behavior or mindset, we need to create environments that values and encourage good civic behavior for green consumers. Be it in workplace or school or in class or even in public, people need to exercise intrinsic motivation since it stays for a long term instead of extrinsic motivation. Using utilitarianism theory, green consumers should be concerned about environment because they need to mitigate impact of climate change just because they believe that's what they find pleasurable. Changing mindset to voluntarily want to do instead of have to do something as if they were forced to do that just because that's what the society must do. Thus, they need to do overall good behavior. Next, be aware that you are about to do something foolish or out of your moral. So, when you are aware of it, you will resist quickly. See in a situation of a person who wants to save the earth or protect the environment, he will do his best to be greener. If he truly believes that he can stop climate changes, he will stop himself from anything that can harm the earth. A flaw happens when some people justify particular behavior in particular situations, such as justify it is okay to open burning because there is too much trash in his house, or there is no one to pick up them, or worse, lazy to drive to the nearest garbage disposal center. People need to change overall mindset. Last but not least, make your goal as a green consumer as part of your identity and not just a trend that you must follow. Although it may be uncomfortable in the first phase, but once you put your mind onto it, you will be determined to do so. If a green consumer treats this behavior as a trend or an activity after they join a campaign, there is no way it is a behavior that they want to stay as or implement in their mind. So do it right.
As a brand manager for green product, we can promote the product by promoting the opportunities or advantages of products using ads. For instance, organic food can be promoted as a healthier option for parents to their children, and it is good for their growth. If children have consumed healthy and organic food since they were younger, they will be less at risk of getting illness when they get older. Using ads on the internet, especially on the famous websites such as YouTube and Facebook, as a medium to promote organic foods can be effective in the long term. Plus, the medium is frequently used by consumers and it is eco-friendly for the environment. No tree was cut to print out the ads to do promotion. Imagine using a pamphlet as the medium to promote green products, which is not reflecting the promotion that we are doing. In addition, another way to promote green products is giving voucher for every purchase of green products. For example, every purchase of 50 ringgit in a single receipt will be given 10 ringgit off on the next green product purchase. This can keep the consistency of purchasing by the consumer.
The conclusion is moral licensing effect may be good for a person who was not interested in particular good behavior, but it can go wrong at the next action they will do. People need to change their mindset of I already did good thing, so I deserve to do the bad thing. This moral licensing effect does not only revolve around green consumer, but it can be happening in even the simple things. For example, I studied so I can watch TV for 2 hours, or I already exercised so I can eat the whole pizza today. This may be happen because people do not find such behavior pleasurable or interesting to do for a long term. That's why some people do something until only they feel it is enough and they will stop then. However, as we were told before, if you already put your mind set to do particular good behavior, you need to do it until the end. Moral licensing effect can be changed if you sincerely do it and put your mind to it.